Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Sexuayo, a.k.a. Coach Bird, and I am the host of the BYRDCAGE Show. Cousin Tracey.
Hey, I'm officially the co-host. This is episode 5 for me, so I guess I'm permanent. Thank you for everybody that pushed him to bring me here. I'm happy to be on the platform. And again, I'm happy to be with you, Setch.
That's you know how we do. You know what I'm saying? It's all us. He's trying to make me emotional. He's trying to make me cry or something. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed. Episode 7 already. You know what I'm saying? For the BYRDCAGE Show. You know what I'm saying?
And I've been part
of
5
for 5 of them already. We rocking and rolling.
Look at God.
Exactly.
So for those out there, remember, like, please, subscribe, share.
Please.
We need all of y'all. We need your input. We like your input.
True indeed.
Share us out. Again, like, subscribe to the BYRDCAGE.
True indeed. We need that. You know what I'm saying? And like we always say, leave your comments. And you know, if you make some good points and you have some things to say, we are always open for debate. We can discuss it. We'll even have you on if necessary. You know what I'm saying? Today's show, we're going to be talking about this whole recruiting process. You know, from just being a coach, you know what I'm saying, you get a lot of parents that just don't understand the recruiting process at times. Right. You know what I'm saying? And they have a lot of questions. And, you know, I try to answer them as best as I can. And, you know, I direct them to where, you know, they can get the answers if I don't know the answers and things like that. I know just, you know, I could talk about this whole recruiting process from the coach's standpoint, you know what I'm saying? And I know you can not only talk about it from the coach's standpoint, but you can actually talk about it from when your kids was going through it, you know what I'm saying? And just recently with Taekwon going through this whole recruiting process. Because if you don't know, it can be stressful, you know, as a parent.
Right.
You can't be scared to ask questions as a parent. If you have questions, you gotta ask. You gotta ask the recruiter. Ask your child's coaches. Ask, you know, if you have friends that went to the process, ask your friends. You can't be scared to ask questions because, you know, it's some things that everybody don't know about the whole process. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, you know, we like to talk about things that we know about. You know what I'm saying? We don't have all the answers. Again, our humble opinions, but you know, we have went through this process and you know, we have some things to share, and hopefully, you know, maybe we can answer some of your questions. If you have questions, again, just hit us in the comments, or you know, maybe this will give you some idea of, you know, okay, maybe I need to ask that question to that recruiter, or maybe I need to ask that question to my son or daughter's coach and try to get some clarity. You know what I'm saying? But Cousin Tracey, I'm just going to ask you if you can just, you know, share, because it's just happening. You know what I'm saying? Taekwon is just graduating and he'll be headed off to South Carolina. You know, he had some things lined up with Penn State at first, and you know what I mean? So if you could just talk a little bit about that, like how that process, let the people know like how that process started, how it works, like, you know what I'm saying?
First and foremost, I did have the pleasure of being part of Taekwon Woodley's life these last 2 basketball seasons, almost 3 seasons. I've been, it's been a pleasure to be part of it and to be included in it. But it's real.
Yeah,
it's a business.
Very.
But like I say all the time, although as a parent, you want the best for your child, but you got to also listen to your child and figure out what's the best fit for him or her. A lot of parents want their children to go where they want their child to go, especially if their child is really being sought after by that team. And if it's a team that a parent likes, a lot of times the parent will push that child in that direction. Oh, so-and-so's recruiting you, and that's a good team, and they're on TV. But it may not be. It may be a good team. But it may not be what's best fit for your child and your child's production as an athlete, as an all-around athlete, and as a student. Because let's be clear, on the BYRDCAGE, we want to talk about our student athletes. And for me, regardless of what level your child is, to me, the student always comes first. So you got to find a good fit for your child to make your child an all-around student and an all-around player. Because,
cousin, and I'm going to let you get back to it, because like we always say on our platform, the ball is going to stop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some people are blessed that they can go to the pros, but it's still going to stop. So if your son or daughter is in position to be able to get college paid for, you got to make sure that you're thinking about that. Just don't think about, well, you know, Michigan or whoever, Alabama, they send kids to the pros all the time. Like you said, let's think about that. We still have to look
at the numbers
of
NCAA athletes that go to the pros.
Like that.
It's 2% for like basketball. I'm sorry, 2% for football and 1% for basketball. I believe that's what it is.
It's like that.
But, you know, my thing is you have to think about your child and your child's well-being for 4 years. And you also want to put your child in a place that'll make your child feel loved and make sure they still have that support, because you're not going to be there.
You're not going to be there.
You're still here, have to work and maintain for either your other children or your household. You know what I mean? Although for some families, the athlete is the business plan, for not all families is that the case. And you want your child to be somewhere where it best fits your family. True. So I'm going to go back to the experience I've had dealing with the whole recruiting process. I came a part of the recruiting process midstream when the young man had already decided that Penn State was the fit for him. So Penn State, we met via Zoom with the staff, and it was amazing.
Was that before COVID hit?
It was,
or was
no,
like
it was
right when
COVID hit. Right when COVID hit, when we were in lockdown.
Okay.
So we were kind of, it was like Zoom. Everything was Zoom. So I met the coaching staff through Zoom. It was a great presentation. The young man had already decided he wanted to be in the Big Ten because he likes the physicality of the front court, how the big men play, the physical nature, because he's a physical player.
Right, true.
You know what I mean? He has a great basketball IQ.
6'8".
He has a great basketball IQ, but he's physical.
Right.
And he likes to play physical. So in his mind, he already knew he had wanted to go to the Big Ten because he liked how they develop their big men.
Gotcha.
Now, for a young man who a lot of people really don't know him as a person, his basketball knowledge and his knowledge of the game is very, 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 very high. His basketball IQ is very, very high. So he analyzes the game and he understands the game, and he wants what's best for him. So he wanted to go to a program that was going to help him build.
Gotcha.
Not only he knows how to move as a big man, but he wanted to work on his outside shot, work on reading the floor. Like he wanted to build. He wanted to grow. He wanted to go to a program that was going to allow him to grow.
Gotcha.
So he loved it. He had went to several visits since he was like, I want to say 8th grade, whatever. Not visits, but he went to go see Penn State. Someone took him, a mentor took him to a couple football games. He liked the environment.
Gotcha.
So for me, when I'm getting into this, now I'm thinking about a mom, about my child's mental health, emotional health, physical, and his lifestyle.
Right.
So I required certain things. Like I wanted to know, do you guys have a sports psychologist? Do you guys have tutoring? Do you guys, what is the accessibility? Does he have, can he have a tutor for every class? Can he have a tutor for, is it just for English and math? Like what is the, what do y'all have available?
So because you're thinking about the other things that surrounding just basketball, because it's not just basketball.
It's just not basketball for me. I wanted the player to develop,
especially on that level.
Right, on that level. And when you have that access, because Penn State's big.
Right, that's
Penn State's big business.
Right, that's
right. But let me tell you about this, how it gets tricky. The tricky part is you start getting calls from other parents who's being recruited. I don't know how they got my number.
Right.
Parents from California, parents from, so they try to help everybody understand everybody and know who everybody is.
Gotcha.
It's a business.
Gotcha.
And I get that.
Gotcha.
You know, for us, Penn State, we had Penn State on the brain. Although official signing day wasn't in, he had officially committed.
Right.
Black Lives Matter hit.
Okay.
An issue with the head coach hit.
Ah, that's right.
Some racial stuff hit.
Right, that's why he had
affirmative action department come in. Now you got to think, how is my child going to be affected in all of this? Because if this coach loses his job, a new coach comes in. Does the new coach want the best for my kid?
Exactly.
Is the new coach going to have a spot for my kid? Is my kid going to be just important to this new coach as he was to the other coach? So now you have to evaluate all of that, and time is of the essence.
Right.
Because this happened in the 11th hour.
Right.
Now he's going into his senior year.
Right.
We don't know if basketball is ever going to be played out. The pandemic's hit. So we deal with this recruiting situation during the hard time.
Yeah, that's not like, that made it extra abnormal,
Right.
like with the
Right.
whole COVID situation
Right.
and all that.
Never
Like,
can step foot on an official visit. Can't
I
go
didn't
on
think about
campus.
that. I didn't
You
think
ain't
about
really
that.
personally met these
Right,
coaches. You really
right,
don't know if they who
right.
they say they are.
Right.
You don't know. So for our family, it was different.
Right.
The pandemic made it different.
Made it definitely
So
different.
now you have that issue with the coach. Now your kid's back on the market.
Right, right. Because they let him go, right? Didn't he let him go?
No, we opted out.
I mean, but did they? I think Penn State.
Penn State let the coach go. No, Penn State let the coach go. Once Penn State let the coach go, because it was just a verbal commitment.
Right.
We didn't have no document. And parents, be
Oh,
aware.
Yeah, I was going to say. We might as well talk
Once
about
you
that now.
sign documentation, once you
Right.
put your name on any
talk
paperwork,
about that
it's
now.
a contract.
Right.
It's very hard to
get
break
out of
that
that.
contract.
Right.
That becomes a contract between you, because now you got to
Right.
remember, it's a 4-year institute. The average 4-year institute, we're going to say hypothetically, is $45,000 to $50,000 a year, just for the education portion. We're not
Right.
going to talk
With
about
all the room and board and
even
all
with the
that
room and
type
board,
of-
we may
Okay,
say 50,
get it in
60,000.
there.
But we're
Right,
not
sure,
talking about equipment,
Right,
working
right,
out,
and all
the
that,
gym
and all that,
fees,
yeah,
all of that.
right,
We don't
right,
say $50,000. So
Right.
$50,000 over 4 years, your child is worth just that part of it,
Right.
200,000.
Right.
Now we're not going to talk about if your child's an athlete and they're actually playing on the field.
Right.
When people are coming buying tickets to watch these college guys play, that money means something too.
Right.
So your child is a dollar sign
Yeah. Nah,
to these
sure
schools.
indeed.
You need to understand it.
So when you sign that contract,
so when you sign that contract,
that's
it's
what it
money.
is. Yeah.
It's not money in your hand, but it's money. It's money.
It's money. And cousin, like, we're gonna talk about this a little later, but let's talk about it real quick right now. Parents, you got to understand the difference between an offer and actually signing on that dotted line. Offers are good. I mean, if you're getting offers, especially at the D1 level, if you're getting offers, obviously your son or daughter earned that offer. But at the same time, if they don't fulfill what they need to fulfill academically, or
they don't pan out, they might fall off athletically.
That offer don't mean nothing.
Right. Offer
don't mean nothing.
Because here's the thing. Think about business. Think about business. I'm going to interview 10 guys to fill 2 positions. So I'm going to offer, because an interview was an offer. So I interviewed you, and you for this position, but I really only fill in 2 spots. So the interview is the offer, but that don't mean I'm going to bring you in. You know what I mean? So like I said, it's a business, and we need to understand that it becomes a business. And this was what a lot of families build their child up for, so he can be part of the business. But we need to understand the business. So at any point, if you don't know, ask a coach. Ask a friend of a friend, ask somebody that's been through it. If it's something that, and believe you me, we all don't know. Sometimes we don't know everything. Like, it's some things we don't know. And when you don't know, ask. Because you may put your child in a position that may not be best for your child. That's why you have a lot of people that get up on their transfer portal.
Yes.
The transfer portal.
Because they get there,
and it ain't what they want. They get there, especially football.
It's not the fit.
Your kid will go there for football. They say they got a spot for him. Yeah, they got a spot for him, but there's 4 guys on the roster before him, and your child ain't even going to get on the field in that position.
He's not even going to get on the field.
But he's part of the squad.
But he's part of the squad, but he's not getting on the field.
He dressed every home game.
He dressed every home game, but he's not getting on the field.
Because you got 4 guys up front and probably 2 seniors, a junior, and you know what I mean? So you got to know what your kid is going into.
You got to find that best fit.
Yeah, you got to find the best fit and know your kid and talk to your kid and get your kids filled. Because guess what? You ain't gonna be there for 4 years, living there day in and day out and dealing with the coach and the coaching staff and the trainers and the physical therapists. And the teachers and the professors. It's not you. Although a lot of parents live vicariously through their kids, you have to let your kid live. You have to let your kid live.
When we talked about in some previous episodes, and again, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when all the episodes are coming out, and all the episodes are up on our YouTube channel, so they're there. You can always go back. But we always talk about putting our expectations on the kid. Just like you said, I might like Alabama, and they're offering you whatever, you know what I mean, they want you, you're going to Alabama, you know what I'm saying? But besides, like, my kid has no business being in Alabama, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's what I'm going to circle back. Once the Penn State thing fell through, now Big Boy is back on the market. So now the schools that originally was offering him, they start coming back up because they feel that he was available. Right. So we had to sit down. Like, listen, where do you want to go? Where do you think you would be best fitted in these offers? And if these offers Out of those offers, give me your top 3.
Right.
And we'll deal with those top 3.
Gotcha.
So he laid down his thing.
Okay.
And he's mature enough to do some of his work.
Right.
He did some of his due diligence.
Right.
And he's a very mature kid. And like I said, he's a very mature kid.
Yeah, and then people need to know that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people outside looking in, they don't know that part about him. You know what I'm saying? He's like, through his career, and it's such a shame. And you know, I got to know him a little bit just because he was with you, and then, you know, coaching against him and things like that. Like they don't know his growth and how he grew from his sophomore year through his senior year. And like you said, how, you know, the basketball IQ and
he's very articulate, he's very intelligent,
he's quiet. Like if he don't know you, he's not going to say too much to you. Like he's kind of, you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean he's not articulate. He doesn't have the basketball IQ, doesn't have a, you know, academic IQ. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's
he kind of filled his own.
They know this now.
Yeah, he kind of filled his own opportunity.
Right.
And he narrowed it down to South Carolina. So once he narrowed it down to South Carolina, I spoke with the coach and I spoke with the recruiter, and they're good guys.
Right, gotcha.
And they're gonna protect him.
Right.
They're gonna groom him. They're gonna teach him. They're gonna educate him. They're gonna instruct him all the way around.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not just basketball.
Right.
They care about Taekwon as the person.
Right, exactly.
Taekwon as the student. Taekwon as the young man.
Exactly.
Taekwon as the athlete.
Gotcha.
And they really feel like Taekwon was a fit in their program. And coincidentally, like I said, because it is a business, they had stopped looking at him, stopped checking for him. But then something fell through for them.
Right. So
one of their big men left. And they was like, boom, the big guy from Jersey's back on the mat. We can go after him. And it worked out. And that's only, like I said, it's only through the grace of God and God's mercy, because Penn State fell through for whatever reason. And then South Carolina was up on the board. So I'm looking forward to watching him, watching him grow, you know, and watching the whole development. And I can honestly say that this was a different level for me. This was a different level. Basketball is a whole different level. And I guess because they only have like 15 scholarships, if that, 12 maybe?
I'll make sure I get the number, and when we post this, I'll make sure I had a number up there. But it's not many.
Right. So I think it's different on the level because it's not so many. Whereas when I dealt with my son for football, it's a lot. So it's a lot of kids on the rosters, a lot of kids that's receiving full, a lot of kids that's receiving partial. So there's always room for, you know, your child may not be up. He might be third on the depth chart. But we all know with football, you could be one injury away from getting on the field. You know what I mean? So you may be third on the depth chart this week, and 2 weeks from now be a starter. You know what I mean? Because it's, you know, it's so many guys on the roster. You know, so many positions to fill. You know, whereas basketball is very individualized, it's smaller, and it's a lot of one-on-one conversations.
12 to 15 guys.
Right, and it's a lot of one-on-one conversations. So as a parent that's in process of recruiting, I just say, listen to your child. I say this time and time again. Please have an open dialogue with your athlete. Understand your athlete and just listen. If you listen and know your child, you will find the best fit for your child when it's your child's time, especially if your child earned that level of play. You know what I mean? Also, too, think about, you're not going to be with your child for 4 years, so you want to make sure your child is happy, your child is emotionally supported, physically supported, mentally supported, and they have the all-around support when you can't make it there. You got to just understand or know that these people that you're trusting your child to is going to be there, the right fit for your child. You know what I mean? Because you're trusting your child. You're trusting your child's young adulthood to someone else.
They're still developing.
17, 18, 19, 20, 18, 19, 20, 21. You're trusting those influential years to these coaches, these people, this environment. And you want what's best for your kid. And you always want people to look out for your child like you look out for your child. And you'll find the right fit for your kid.
True indeed. And that's another thing that you brought up that's important for you know, our parents to know, and even our student athletes that might be watching this. You know, Division I level, Division II level, you got full scholarships, you got partial scholarships, you got you know, recruited walk-ons, and you have walk-ons. You know what I mean? And those scholarships, if you don't know, you know, they're year to year. It's not like when you sign, you're 4 years, you're good for the next 4 years. year one, okay, if we want to continue with this agreement, you know what I'm saying, and we'll sign again, and you know what I'm saying. So, and I also want to say, because I've seen this a lot too, cousin, parents, please, and it goes back to what we were saying about the right fit for your kid. Know your kid, the right fit for your kid. Don't put your expectations on your kid. I might have a kid, and I think my kid is D1. My kid might not be D1. I might have D2 offer me some full rides. Don't be just stubborn to the point like, oh, if I don't get D1, like I'm not going to talk to these D2 coaches because my kid's going D1.
But
like,
understand this.
Come on, like you can't do that.
It's truly how your child plays, because people will find them.
Yeah, right.
Like that's crazy, because you know, my son got invited to several combines. East Rutherford, he went to one in East Rutherford, and he went to one down in Maryland. And his final years was played at a D3 school. But he was on a D3 school who went to the D3 championship every year. My son has 3 rings on the MEAC. I think it's MEAC. MEAC is Mid Atlantic. I don't know. I think it's MAC. Whatever. Del Val. I gotta. Del Val. You make sure you get the right conference.
I'll get it.
But he has 3 rings.
Because I think the MEAC is one of the black.
Del State. Middle Eastern, whatever. But so they went to the championship every year as a D3 school. The D3 NCAA. He has an NCAA corn. He has rings, and he was found. Like you know. It's how your child plays. He can be skill set, right? It's his skill set, and he has 3 guys that he actually played with that ended up being recruited by the Philadelphia Eagles and was on their practice team at one point. And one guy I think did get called up, but my thing is, it's how you play. So don't be so, and money. Education is key. So don't be so bent on my son can only go D1 or my daughter can only go D1, because they actually can go D2, get a full ride, and still be seen.
And still be seen, like you said.
And they could go to D1 and never step on the court or on the field.
It's about that fit.
And then got to wait 3-4 years to transfer somewhere else. So I mean, let's not be so locked in. Know your child, and you know, and know your child's worth, because just because you know, you go to a D1 school, you may sit at the end of the bench and never get in. And just be part of the squad in the pictures. And be able to wave the tag.
You know what
I mean? So just again, I will say time and time again, parents that are out here in the process of getting your child recruited, training your child to be recruited, just know what you're dealing with. You know what I mean? And if you have a coach or a family friend, and I'm just speaking for single moms at this point, if you have a coach or a family friend that's real intricate, part of your child's training or your child's athletics situation, call them in when your child is getting recruited. Ask the questions. Have them sit in, because listen, ladies, let's keep it real. They will try to pull the wool over your eyes. And even though mama bears will come out and the lioness will come out, we still got to protect our children. So make sure you have knowledge and you understand what this process is about, you know, as this unfolds.
And like we said a little earlier, cousin, it's just you got to ask questions. Like, if you don't understand something, just don't sit there and just like try to figure it out on your own. Like, I mean, and now I'm gonna speak from a coach's role in this. You know what I'm saying? You know, in that process, you know, we are involved, because after, you know, these recruiters, colleges, institutions see what they want, you know what I'm saying, they will reach out to the coach, because now they want to know, well, you know, what's his GPA? You know, what's his attitude in practice? Can you send us some film? You know what I mean? Things like that. So I'm just saying that, like, parents and the coaches, we need to be on the same page. Like, parents, don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't not include us. Because sometimes these recruiters will try to, like, let's get the coach out the way, go right to her or him, the father, the mother, whoever it is, because I know they probably don't know what the coach knows. So we're going, like you said, I could be able to pull the wool over his or her eyes. Probably if the coach is involved, I might not be able to get away with this. You know what I'm saying? So parents, you know, have that relationship with your coaches. You know, and
just stay knowledgeable, because you know, in the athletic world, when you have your child out here, even at a lower level, when you have your child out here, it's conversations. People talk. You'll know about different coaches on different levels. You'll know about high school coaches, what they got going on, what they don't got going on, whether or not you want your child to be part of that squad. You'll know who the coach surrounds himself with, and it works when your child is in high school. You'll hear what's going on with college coaches. You'll hear the stories of what's going on, whether or not their reputation is good, whether or not they're reputable, whether or not they're good for the child. So just, if you're in that world, just keep your ear to the grindstone, because you want, at the end of the day, you want what's best for your kid. And you have to understand, again, for those families out here, I'm going to say it for what it is, that made their child's athletic situation the family's business plan, protect the business plan. Like, protect the merchandise.
Right.
Protect
Make sure,
at all costs.
they're good at all.
But at the same token, don't be so arrogant that you think you know more than some people, and you close a lot of doors on your kids. Because some of us parents, some of these parents out here can be very arrogant, and they can close the door on a lot of opportunities for their kids because they want more than what they should be asking for.
True, very true.
You know what I mean?
Just like you said, cousin. Like, you know, my high school coach, we, you know, I taught. It's like, it's a community. So the same thing with these college coaches. Like you just said, like, you might have a college coach that was trying to recruit a kid, and the parents got in the way somehow by being arrogant. So, you know what? I'm going to tell my buddy that's a coach that might, like, yo, whatever happened to such and such, man. The parents is, you don't want to deal with that. So now, like you said, doors is closing. Where another coach might be like, yo, you didn't need him, but I might be able to use him. What's up? Now, you don't want to deal with that situation. Door closed. You know what I'm saying?
And also,
like,
too, parents,
it happens.
Tell your kids, don't be so arrogant that people don't want to deal with them. Because there's some kids out here, and I'm not their kids, so I'm never going to mention their names. But there's some kids out here who went away to college and didn't stay. So the next coach reached it. Why didn't the kids stay? I was thinking about recruiting. You don't want that problem.
You don't want that.
You don't want that headache. You don't want that. So just be mindful. This is a business, and you represent the brand. So if your child is being recruited, or your child is recruited, or your child committed to whatever, he now represents the brand, and he has to carry himself accordingly. You know, I have conversations all the time with my young people that you have to carry yourself accordingly. Even if you're representing your high school, you are the face of. And you have to carry yourself accordingly. You may not know everybody, but guess what? Everybody knows you.
True indeed.
So you have to understand that, and even in the marketing area, with we're going to the next levels. You're the face. You're part of the brand, and you don't want to do nothing that's going to jeopardize anything that's going to come back and tarnish or tarnish you.
Because think about it, cousin, and I think we mentioned this earlier. Like you said, it's like an interview. Like, you interview 10 people for 2 spots. Now, say you got
character flaws.
3 or 4 people for them 2 spots that are all kind of equal. Now we're looking at, like you said, like, okay, well, how does this person carry himself?
They don't have it. I'm going to try to pick the person with least character flaws.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And especially, like you said, in basketball, it's so few spots on that next level. Like, you really got to make sure you're not losing a situation because of some type of character flaw that you could have. It could be
and we know kids are going to be kids. We get that, but when you're training your kid, if you just going to physically train your kid for a sport, emotionally train your kid for life. You know what I mean? Don't let your kid be so arrogant. Don't let your kid let your kid know that everything comes at a price. So if you make a decision one way or another, if you make a decision, just know you're going to have to deal with whatever that decision is. So do you want that? Do you want that? Do you want that mark? Do you want that scar? Like, do you want that? So just be mindful of what you're doing. So parents, I say again, if you're training your kids to become D1 athletes or D2 athletes, or just athletes on the collegiate level, athletes on the next level, any level, teach your kids morals, ethics, and teach them about it all.
That's true.
About character, about integrity, about morals, about fortitude. You have to keep. You're going to train an athlete. Train him to be all around.
All around. That's it. That's the word. That's the word of this episode. All around.
All around.
It's about everything. The complete student athlete.
Because the day of the dumb athlete, the day of the athlete that keeps getting in trouble, that's long gone. Because now there's 1 million children throughout the United States that all jockeying for these spots. And I think the statistics that we showed is 740,000 NCAA athletes. 740,000.
Right.
That's all the sports.
Right, all the sports. Yeah. Well.
And you got 1 million kids,
yeah, right.
2-3 million kids jockeying for 740,000 spots.
Yeah,
so you want your child to be all around.
That's true.
And you want your child to go to the next level and succeed. Because I know a lot of people, include myself, that went to a next level and came home. But I just was able to come back home and fall into a career.
Right.
But not everybody gets there.
Everybody gets the
you know what I mean? You have to be all around. You have to be prepared.
Gets the opportunity.
You know?
I mean, cousin, you know my story. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I went to Lehigh, played football, and not saying there's nothing wrong with Rutgers and Camden, but that's where I wound up finishing out my athletic career, and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'm here now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But not everybody can get those second chances.
Can get them second chances.
Right, them second and third chances. So you don't even want to have to go through that. Just build an all-around athlete.
Right. True indeed.
True
indeed. Well, I think, I think we explained the recruiting process. I will say this real quick, since I brought up Rutgers and Camden. Parents, if you have D3 coaches coming, and because they recruit too, you know what I'm saying? Yes. So I mean, D3 can't give out scholarships, but they definitely try to.
They find you money.
Financial, right?
They find you money because
financial aid packages and all that. But
my son went to Del State first. He got into a situation. He ended up going to D2. He didn't fit in well there, and then he ended up at D3. Right. Del Val. It's now Del Val University. It was Del Val College when he went there. Exceptional coaching staff. Shout out to Coach Duke. Great man, great guy. He loved my son like my son was his own. He developed my son. He wrapped his arms around my son, and they found us money. Delaware Valley University is a private institution, and it's costly. Anybody can look it up.
Right.
It's known for its horticultural society and community. Agricultural as well. It's a private institution.
Right.
But they found us money. They found us money, and they made it fit, and they made it work, and it worked for him, and it fit for him. So again, shout out to Coach Duke at Del Val University. Great guy, great program. I still support the program. I still support the coach. Great move, and it was the best fit for my son. And it took us 2 schools for me to fill out. It was the best fit for my son. It took me threatening to send my son into the military. Right. And Coach Duke called and said, Ms. Hall, please
don't do that.
Please, let's give us a chance. I'm telling you, he'll fit in here. We wanted him out of high school, but I know he had aspirations of going D1. But we know that didn't work out. Can you give us a chance? And them 3 years he spent at Del Val probably was the best years of his life. It taught him a lot. It taught us a lot. And it was a great program. So again, parents, know your child. Know what fits for your child. And if your child plays well, he will be found. They will see him.
They will find him.
They will find him.
And like you said, just don't pigeonhole because you want him or her to go to this big D1 that you shut out D2, even shut out D3. Just keep them options open. If you're blessed and you have a child that has a skill set to play on that big D1 level, great.
And just in case,
shut doors, you know what I'm saying?
And just in case you didn't reclassify your kid, because I don't recommend that, and they're not ready to
watch our episode on that.
Junior college.
Yes,
I know my neighbor, he went to Pierce to play football, junior college, and then he got recruited by Louisiana Tech.
Okay.
Now Devin is a coach in Texas, a D-line coach in Texas. But my thing is, he went JUCO.
Right.
Then he went to a D1, Louisiana Tech. His senior year, they went to a bowl. And now he's a coach.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, sometimes your child has to take those steps, whatever the steps are.
Don't limit the options.
Don't limit the options.
Just keep pushing.
Keep encouraging and keep pushing them. And the key to all of that is use your athletics to get an education. Because one thing for sure and two for certain, they can never take that degree away from you.
Can't take it away.
Can't take that degree away from you. And you're getting it for free.
And you're getting it for free. You got to worry about them student loans and all that type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you said, that degree ain't cheap.
At all.
That degree ain't cheap. Well, on that note, you know what I'm saying? We're going to leave it right there. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, again, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when these episodes are coming out. Cousin Tracey, you got anything else you want to say to the people or your shout outs?
Yes, I just got one thing to say. This week that just passed was the 9th anniversary of the passing of Amadeus Desmond Hall. We will continue to raise him up and keep letting his legacy be known.
Yes.
My son died so we can learn how to live.
Yes.
And please protect your mental health at all costs. We just finished Mental Health Awareness Month, which was in May. Please, by any means, self-care is not selfish. So again, I want to thank you, Seth, for having me on.
Always.
And not only subscribe to the to the Birdcage, but also check out the Daylight Foundation Incorporated on Facebook and Instagram.
Please do, please do. Cousin, once again, you know what I'm saying? I can't, you know, tell you how much I love you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how else to say it. You know what I'm saying?
Clearly he didn't say it with pizza. Once again, the pizza is not here.
I will have pizza next week.
This is the 5th episode.
I've been saying that, right? I'll have some pizza. You know what I'm saying? And like cousin just said, for Day, we did a little memorial the other day. We have some, you know, little quick video footage of that, so I'm going to make sure I post that on you know, my YouTube channel, so that'll be up there for you can click on that and you can check that out as well. Again, cousin, I love you. I appreciate you doing this for me. You know, and just, you know, just continue to watch. If you have comments, leave them. We love criticism. We love comments. If you disagree, let us know. We can have this debate. We can have this conversation, because that's what it's all about. It's just our humble opinion. We don't claim to know everything. We know a lot. So if you have some things you would like to talk to us about, you know what I mean, feel free. You know, we'll
but something you want us to talk about, an interesting
topic.
Or
right. If you have some topics for us, like, well, Coach, cousin Tracey, I don't understand something.
And we'll talk about it. Let us know. We'll
talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, on that note, cousin Tracey, I'm Seth Chiwayo, aka Coach Bird, and I am the host of the BYRDCAGE Show. Talk to you next time.
It was a stone groove, my man.